Right then, guys, hello. Got a story for you here, and you make of it as you will. Okay, just make of it as you will, because I've learned certain lessons this week, and it's not been a hard knock, but it's something to actually turn around and reassess what I'm doing. Now, you might know that I've got a channel on YouTube, not this one, but another one, the Trailer Fitters Toolbox, which is a professionally orientated channel. And some of my work colleagues watch me, yeah, especially the ones that sit in the office. They don't really know what goes on in the workshop. However, they do make comments that they watch my video, and I'm happy for them to do that. However, I did say that, yes, I'm starting up a channel for preppers, and if you want to go over to that channel, blah, 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 you know, so they're thinking, oh, yeah, you're one of those preppers, aren't you? Yeah, I know what they're thinking, and I'll tell you how we came to this, okay? Now, this has worked to my advantage, and it's through humiliation. It's through humiliation, and so this week I've learned some lessons. The school of hard knocks, sometimes it comes at the right times. Yeah. So what's happened? I told you last week I broke a spring on Sunday, and I couldn't get to work because it was dangerous. It was unserviceable, and the vehicle wasn't really that controllable. So what I did, I ordered the parts on Monday, or booked a holiday, and found out that I couldn't get all the parts in one day, so I had to book 2 days holiday. So the second day I got a delivery at about 12 o'clock, yeah, and this is from the local motor factors as well. All the top mounts and the spring, and also bought a shock absorber, which was lucky because I couldn't get the shock absorber off this particular vehicle. This is different to some of them. Some have got 3-bolt fixings or 4-bolt fixings, which you can take the top mount off. This one hasn't. It uses the bolt on the top of the shock absorber, which you have to undo before you can draw it out, and I couldn't get that undone. I split the top of the shock absorber, Allen key hole in there, and trying to undo it, yeah, that's split. So the only option was to stretch the spring out, put the bearing back in as much as possible, and then secure the rest of the spring to itself and limp it to the workshop, yeah, because I needed some power tools to actually crack that bolt off, and I did do it, yeah. No, I mean, that's not a problem, it's a no-brainer, yeah. So yeah, you can see me here. I've got the spring in a spring clamp and what have you, and I will tell you about this. I'll do a video on spring clamps and how you should use them and how many you should have, because you need more than 2, yeah. And yeah, so I got the job done, finished, yeah. So the vehicle's back on the road, no problem, although I lost 2 days holiday, as you say, but all good at the end of the day. And we weren't actually busy that part of the week. The next part of the week we were, because yeah, we had a lot to do. But it was the office staff, or especially one of the office staff, who decided to have a little jibe at me about how unprepared I was at being a prepper. And he's right in one way, because the tool bag that I have in the back of the vehicle was prepared for the other car that I had, and I thought, damn, I haven't got 20 mil, I haven't got 21 mil, or a decent one, I don't have a battery gun on me, so I was ill prepared. But nevertheless, still managed to get the job done, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, doesn't it? Is to actually fix what you need to fix and get it moving. That's my job anyway. Yeah, so I get this nerve taking from the office staff, and they really did pull my leg, and I walked away thinking, okay, you've slightly humiliated me here. And I'm thinking, well, actually, I should really keep a low key on what I'm doing. Yeah, this is OPSEC anyway, isn't it? Operational security. You shouldn't really let people know what you're up to. However, being a bit more of a public figure, if you like, it's something that's completely unavoidable, yeah. Lesson learned here, though, is that they humiliated me, or tried to, and of course there is that, oh well, he's a useless prepper, he can't get stuff done, which is good. That's actually good. It's a godsend in a roundabout way, because now they're going to look at me and think, oh, he can't get stuff like that done. I won't ask if I got problems. I won't ask him, which is great, because I don't want the trouble. I do like helping people, but it's got to be selective. And if the shit hits the fan, then you don't want to be, and I don't want to be, the person they come running to for help, and for them to be a burden. Yes, this is the way I look at it. Now, my father always said, don't let people know your business. which I try not to, but some people will always see what you're doing. I have this problem in the workshop with tools. If I get something decent, like I have a 3/4 inch drive gun, which is very powerful, I paid £700 for that. And of course, there's always that beady eye thinking, yeah, I can use that. Yeah, and they do. They come to you and say, oh, you got that gun, let me just borrow that. And it's like, well, why don't you go and buy one? Well, they don't want to buy one because they'd rather use yours, wouldn't they? So that is it. This is in a nutshell. So the OPSEC type of thing, or the operational security ideals, is to let people know as little about you as possible and what you're up to at the end of the day. Or you do the other way, where you act the clown. Yeah, this is a good one, and I learned this from somebody who was in SBS, or presumably in the special boat services. He was an idiot, an absolute idiot. You wouldn't have thought that he could tie his shoelaces together, but as soon as he was in camouflage gear, he was off and he was doing his job, which was, yeah, SBS. You know what SBS do, don't you? Yeah. But people wouldn't have thought it. They just thought he was a bullshitting clown at the end of the day, which is great because it's to his advantage, because his credibility is not there in that circle. So they would never thought that he would have been a threat. Yeah. Like I've just told you, there's certain people you would never think would do what they do. And then there are other guys, ex-military types, that seem bullshitters. Yeah, there are some, and there are other guys that are still stuck in the military. It seems to be one of those things where once you've been in there, it does turn a couple of cogs around the other way, doesn't it? Yeah. And if you're that type, and I know one guy who I actually work with, who's yeah, people get tired of what he talks about in the military. They're not interested. They're really not that interested. Some are, like myself, because I've been around that environment most of my childhood. Yeah, so I understand it. But the civic people don't understand it. They just think, oh yeah, it's just trying to get validation. But at the end of the day, that's exactly what's happening. The guys want to be recognised for what they've done and how they've served their country, which is great, but it's best kept under wraps. It's best to be enigmatic. It actually draws more validation out of other people when they find out their way that you have actually served your country in one way or another. Yeah, so it's just one of those things. Just a little bit. And the other thing I'm going to say, because some people won't get this far in the video, is glasses. Yeah, always keep a pair of these in your vehicle, just in case somebody smashes your windscreen. At least then you can take it out, you can put it on and keep on driving, can't you? Yeah, just a thought. So this is lessons learned. I've learned two things this week. One, get my tool bag sorted better. Yeah. The second one is to not let people know, unless of course, like myself, you're a public figure. Then you have to take the stick and use the humiliation and the mirth to your advantage, because if they're taking the mickey out of you, that means they're not taking you seriously. Otherwise they'll be coming to you and asking you for advice, which sometimes might be a good thing, might not be. So anyway, I now have bought another diesel can, and I walked into Aldi's and I saw that sitting there after I've been looking for another one. And I thought, yeah, I'll get that. Yeah, so I've got a green one and a black one now. Can you imagine what sort of problems I'll have working as a commercial vehicle technician with cans of diesel in the back of my vehicle? Yeah, is the accusations of stealing diesel. So it's something I've got to be very, very careful with now. This is another thing, yeah, is being careful of what people see and what you do, and not letting them know that you have things like this, yeah, because it could cause trouble, couldn't it? It could cause trouble. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, lessons learned. Anyway, that's my story today, and I'm sticking with it, yeah. And yeah, I'll come back with some more later. I must say though, I've watched a couple of preppers this week, and I'm absolutely shocked at the scare tactics that they're trying on. Well, maybe they do actually believe that shit's going to hit the fan really soon. I don't actually believe that. I'm just living through shit hits the fan every other day. You know, something else pops up, and okay, I've got to deal with it. You're never ready for everything, are you? You never can be ready for everything. You just have to deal with things as and when they arise. Yeah. Although, I must say at work, I tried to be prepared for any eventualities with motor vehicles, so I do have a bigger toolbox, and I have tools that I might never use, but there's just that occasion, I got one here, where I've got spline drive ones which I've never used, and then suddenly I've got a fitting on an air valve that I've never seen before that I've got to remove. Well, lo and behold, yeah, the tool worked quite well. You can never have enough tools, can you? Never have enough tools, and I can assure you that there'll be a time when you haven't got the right tool for the job either. Yeah. So anyway, stay prepped, guys, and I'll be seeing you later. Okay, over and out.